The alarm clock screamed at 6 in the morning, but Jake didn't move. He just lay there, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince himself that today would be better than yesterday. But deep down, he already knew it wouldn't be. The air in the room felt heavy, and even the sunlight creeping through the blinds looked tired. Jake had been having what he called a streak of bad days. First, he lost his job at the car repair shop. Then his old truck broke down. And yesterday, when he tried to fix it himself, the wrench slipped and smashed his thumb. He had shouted words his grandmother would never forgive him for. He dragged himself out of bed, rubbed his eyes, and sighed. "All right," he muttered to himself, "let's try again." He walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, and stared at the empty shelves. A lonely bottle of ketchup stood there, like it was mocking him. He laughed bitterly. "Breakfast of champions," he said, closing the door. Outside, the world seemed to move just fine without him. The neighbors waved to each other, cars hummed down the street, and kids laughed on their way to school. It was as if the universe had decided Jake wasn't part of the plan anymore. He put on his worn-out jacket and stepped outside. The sky was cloudy, the kind of gray that made everything look dull. Jake walked to the small diner down the street, hoping a cup of coffee might make the world seem less cruel. The bell above the door jingled as he entered. The smell of bacon and pancakes filled the air, and for a second, he felt a little better. "Morning, Jake," said Maria, the waitress who always seemed too cheerful for someone awake at dawn. "The usual?" Jake smiled faintly. "Yeah. Just the coffee." Maria gave him that look, the one that mixed kindness with quiet concern. "Rough week?" she asked, pouring his cup. Jake chuckled. "You could say that. My truck's dead, my thumb's swollen, and I'm about one bad day away from moving into it, if it still ran." Maria smiled gently. "Bad days don't last forever, you know." Jake stirred his coffee slowly. "Feels like they do." For a while, they didn't speak. The radio played an old country song about heartbreak and highways. Jake stared out the window, watching the rain begin to fall. It came down soft at first, then heavier, blurring everything outside. He thought about the job applications he had sent out. The ones nobody replied to. The bills stacked on his kitchen table. The look in his mother's eyes when she called last night and asked, "Are you okay?" He wasn't. But he said he was. Maria broke his thoughts. "You know, my dad used to say bad days are like storms. They make you run for cover, but they always pass. Maybe you just need a little sun." Jake forced a smile. "I think my son took a vacation." "Maybe," Maria said, placing a small blueberry muffin in front of him. "But maybe it's just hiding behind the clouds." Jake stared at the muffin. He hadn't ordered it. "What's this for?" "On the house," she said. "Consider it good luck." He looked up at her, surprised. "Thanks, Maria." "Don't thank me," she replied with a grin. "Just promise me you'll have a better day." Jake nodded. "I'll try." But the truth was, he didn't believe it. When he stepped outside again, the rain had turned into a downpour. He pulled his jacket tighter, running toward his truck. The windshield was cracked, the paint was chipped, and now the driver's door wouldn't close properly. He sat behind the wheel, turned the key, and heard nothing. Just a faint click. He hit the steering wheel in frustration. "Come on!" he shouted. For a moment, he just sat there, soaked, angry, and tired. Then something inside him broke. not in a loud, dramatic way, but in a quiet, almost peaceful surrender. He leaned back in his seat, closed his eyes, and whispered, "Maybe this is it. Maybe I've hit bottom." But then, something strange happened, a soft knock on his window. He opened his eyes and saw a little girl, no older than 7, holding a bright yellow umbrella. She smiled at him through the rain. Her face was pale, but her eyes sparkled with innocence. "Are you okay, mister?" she asked, her voice muffled through the glass. Jake rolled down the window a little. "Yeah. I'm fine, kid. Just having a rough day." She frowned. "My mom says when you have a rough day, you should help someone else. Then you'll feel better." Jake blinked, unsure what to say. "That's nice advice." The girl nodded eagerly. "You wanna help me? I dropped my school project. It's getting all wet." Without thinking, Jake got out of the truck. The rain poured harder, soaking him instantly. But he followed the girl to the sidewalk, where a cardboard box filled with drawings and paper animals lay in a puddle. He crouched down and began picking them up carefully, one by one. The girl smiled gratefully. "Thanks, mister. You're saving my project." Jake laughed, really laughed, for the first time in weeks. "Glad to help, kiddo." When they finished, the girl's mother ran up with another umbrella. "Oh my goodness, thank you," she said. She ran off before I could stop her. Jake shook his head. "She's brave. And she's got good advice." The woman smiled. "She's been through a lot, actually. Hospital visits, surgeries. But she always says helping others makes her feel strong." Jake froze. He looked at the little girl again, her small hands clutching the wet box, her smile still bright despite the rain. Suddenly, his bad days didn't seem so bad anymore. As they walked away, the girl waved at him. "Bye, mister. Hope you have a good day." Jake stood there for a long time, rain dripping from his hair, watching them disappear down the street. He whispered to himself, "Yeah. Maybe I will." That night, he went home, dried off, and opened his laptop. For the first time in a while, he didn't feel hopeless. He searched for online mechanic jobs. He made a list of things he could fix and sell. He even smiled when he passed the mirror, a tired smile, but a real one. Jake realized something. Bad days don't define you. They test you. They make you appreciate the small, unexpected kindness that reminds you you're still alive. As he lay in bed, he thought about the girl and her words, "When you have a rough day, help someone else." He whispered softly into the dark, "Tomorrow, I'll start again." And this time, he meant it. The next morning, the rain was gone. The sky looked fresh, washed clean by the storm. Jake stood by his window with a cup of instant coffee, watching the sunlight touch the rooftops. For the first time in weeks, he didn't feel heavy inside. He wasn't exactly happy, but there was a quiet sense of peace. He remembered the little girl's smile, her small voice saying, "Help someone else." Those words had stuck to his mind like glue. Maybe, he thought, she was right. Maybe happiness didn't come from fixing what was broken, but from doing something good, even if it was small. He finished his coffee, grabbed his jacket, and walked outside. The world seemed new, as if it was giving him a second chance. As he passed the diner, Maria waved from inside. "Hey, Jake! You look better today." He smiled. "Maybe I am. Coffee on the house?" she called out. Jake shook his head. Not today. I've got things to do. Maria grinned. That's the spirit. He walked down the street toward the old repair shop where he used to work. The building looked the same, faded red paint, broken sign, and the smell of oil still in the air. Through the dusty window, he saw Mr. Collins, the owner, bent over an engine. Jake hesitated for a second, then opened the door. The familiar bell jingled. Mr. Collins looked up, surprised. Well, look who it is. Thought you'd vanished, kid. Jake smiled awkwardly. Needed some time to figure things out. Did you? Yeah, Jake said quietly. And I was wondering if you could use a hand around here. Even part-time. Mr. Collins rubbed his chin. Business hasn't been great. But you were one of the best I had. Tell you what, you fix that old Ford in the back, and we'll talk. Jake nodded. Deal. He rolled up his sleeves and got to work. The smell of grease, the sound of tools, the hum of the engine, it all felt like coming home. For hours, he worked carefully, checking every part, tightening every bolt. At one point, Mr. Collins walked over and said, "You still got it." Jake grinned. Guess it's like riding a bike. By evening, the engine roared to life. It was the sweetest sound Jake had heard in weeks. Mr. Collins laughed. Well, I'll be damned. Looks like you're back, son. Jake felt something warm rise in his chest. Feels good to be useful again. As he walked home that night, he passed the small park where he had met the little girl. He stopped and looked around, wondering if he might see her again. But the park was quiet, just the sound of crickets and a cool breeze brushing the leaves. Still, he smiled. Maybe he didn't need to see her again. Maybe her message had already done its job. Over the next few days, Jake worked at the shop part-time. He didn't make much money, but it was enough to keep the lights on. He fixed his truck. He cleaned his apartment. He even started jogging in the mornings again, something he hadn't done since his dad passed away years ago. One afternoon, while grabbing coffee at the diner, Maria handed him a newspaper. You might want to see this, she said. The front page showed a photo of a little girl, the same one with the yellow umbrella. The headline read, "Community raises funds for young girls' surgery." Jake froze. He read the article. Her name was Emily. She had a rare heart condition. The surgery was expensive, and her mother had been trying to raise the money for months. The article mentioned how Emily had been spreading kindness around town, helping neighbors, visiting sick kids at the hospital, and inspiring others to give. Maria looked at him softly. That's the girl you told me about, isn't it? Jake nodded slowly. Yeah. That's her. She's something special, Maria said. Jake felt a lump in his throat. She helped me when I didn't even know I needed help. That night, Jake couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Emily, her bright eyes, her courage, her advice. He opened his wallet and stared at the small amount of cash he had left. It wasn't much. But maybe it could mean something. He went online and found the donation page mentioned in the article. The screen showed hundreds of small donations, $5 here, $10 there. He smiled. People really were trying to help. Without hesitating, he entered his card information and sent what little he could. It wasn't a lot, just $50, but it felt right. When the confirmation message popped up, it said, "Thank you, Jake. Every bit of kindness makes a difference." He leaned back, smiling quietly. "No, kid," he whispered, "you made the difference." Weeks passed. Life didn't become perfect, but it got better. Jake worked full-time again. He started fixing cars for people who couldn't afford repairs, charging them little or nothing. Sometimes, he'd tell them about a little girl who taught him how to turn bad days into good ones. Then one morning, as he was sweeping the floor of the shop, the doorbell rang. He turned and froze. There she was. Emily. Holding her yellow umbrella again, smiling wide. Her mother stood beside her. "Jake," she said, running toward him. "Guess what? My surgery went great. I'm okay now." Jake's throat tightened. That's amazing, kid." Her mom nodded, eyes shining. "We just wanted to thank you. We saw your name on the donation list." Jake shook his head. "You don't have to thank me. You already helped me more than you know." Emily giggled. "Mom says I helped you fix your heart." Jake laughed, blinking back tears. "Yeah, you kinda did." She handed him a small drawing, a picture of him standing beside a bright blue car under a sunny sky. At the top, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "Bad days don't last forever." Jake stared at it for a long time, smiling. "You're right, Emily. They don't." As they left, he pinned the drawing on the wall above his workbench. It stayed there, a reminder that even when everything falls apart, there's always a reason to keep going. That night, as Jake sat outside watching the stars, he thought about how everything had changed. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because he decided to stop waiting for good days and start creating them. He whispered to himself, "Sometimes, a bad day is just a good story that hasn't finished yet." And maybe that was true for all of us, even in your darkest times. One act of kindness can turn everything around. Help someone else, and you might just help yourself. I share stories like this every day, stories that help you learn English, feel inspired, and connect with life in a deeper way. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.